Hi. Okay, my name is Noa Katsovich. I'm from Tel Aviv, Israel. Woo, a lot of Israel is here today. Yeah. And where is my clicker? Okay, so I like to start by introducing you to Kinor. Kinor is a cool cybersecurity startup that raised a 10 million pre-seed round. They have 3 superstar software engineers and a great product manager. And they develop the best code and best software you can think of. They have perfect infrastructure, excellent CI/CD, high-scale performance, and outstanding testing mechanism. But despite all of that, they failed terribly. 16 months of developing and writing this perfect code I just described was a waste. Once they bought it to customers and the market, no one used it. And, sorry. You see, the unfortunate reality is that great code does not equal a great product. In order to turn that statement into a true one, we can use a framework. It's a methodology that I use before I design and develop, and it can help any engineering team to create excellent product. And today I'm going to share this framework with you, and I actually learned it from my role as a product manager. So in fact, I started to develop when I was 10, writing my first lines of code in HTML. I loved it and decided to learn computer science during high school and then kept developing for more than 10 years. And I worked with almost any kind of coding language that you can think of, including JavaScript. And I had the privilege to explore all aspects of the engineering stack: backend, front-end, Android, and iOS. So essentially, most of my career and most of my life, really, I've been working with code. In the last 4 years, I shifted to product management, and now I work at Fiverr, a freelancer's marketplace for digital services. And I'm the product manager of Fiverr's communication. It's the inbox that enables buyers and sellers to talk and set expectations, and our notification, emails, and collaboration tool. Now, working as a product manager kind of changed the way I look at engineering. Engineers have a huge part in the success of the product. They are the inventors, designers, and creators. They get a set of requirements and restrictions like cost, security, and scale, and need to build the best solution that should fit another set of existing limitations, like performance and backward compatibility. Now, as a software engineer, every time I get a new task, I find myself immediately starting to think about the solution, jumping straight to what should be the architecture. Where is the problem in that bug, and when can I start to implement? I want to finish all my tasks as soon as I could, and I was running to how the feature should work on the system level rather than the product level. I always thought about creating the best code and best functionality, but I found out that great code does not mean a great product. And now I better understand that our goals, engineers, product, analysts, we are all part of the same company that has a business to develop. Our goal is the same goal: to create something that people will want to use and hopefully to pay for. Our users, I'm sorry to tell you, they don't care about the code. What they want is to have a solution to their problems. So let's dive into this 4 questions model. It's a methodology that I use before I design and develop. And these questions are often raised by product managers, but I found that asking them as an engineers will help us to make better engineering decisions and create better product. And also, despite of creating better product, I found it also improve me as engineer. So, ready? The first question I always start with is, who is it for and what is the need? So this question is the foundation of our work. We have a new feature to code, right? Now what? So first we want to understand who is our target audience. Is it an internal user from our organization? Is it our customers? Why do they need it? And how do they currently use our product? Someone is going to use this feature that we are going to develop. So we want to understand who he or she is. Now, product managers sometimes call it persona, an imaginary character that represents a user that uses our product. The persona allows us, as developers, to get more empathy towards the user and to better understand his behavior, rather than applying our mental models that often do not reflect the customer and his needs. Now, and sometimes as developers, as we mostly focus on the technical details or on stuff we should think would be just cool to implement, so we might unintentionally filter out features that our users might actually care about. So if we learn who are our users and what is their needs, we can make better engineering decisions. Now, at Fiverr, as example, as we are a marketplace, we have two types of user. We have buyers who comes to Fiverr to buy digital services like logo design or website development, and we have the sellers who offer those services. Now, recently, we've changed the first experience when buyers interacting with sellers for the first time. So when a buyer comes to Fiverr, he's looking for something he would like to order, a service, and he has a dedicated page for that, as you can see. And if he wants to contact the seller to get more information and to set expectations, so he can ask the seller a question. Now, we changed this model from this to this, as you can see on the left, and we improved the experience, at least in my opinion, and we've added some structure messages and also this emoji component that allows the buyers to add emojis when clicked so he can express his need better. Now, if we think of our buyer for a moment, our persona, it's someone who wants to contact the business to get more information on what he would like to order and to express what he wants. And the emojis are nice and great and fun, but if we think of it, not everyone is going to use them. So what our developers decided to do is to implement this emoji component with lazy load. So we won't slow down the loading of this page and detract from the experience. So this is one decision we could make because we understand who is our users. Now, WhatsApp or Slack, as example, could not implement it like that because emojis are used more frequently. So we always want to know who is our user and their needs. And this thinking allows us to think of more of other edge cases, like errors, long inputs, or the need for an empty state. And different solutions are available for different use cases. And each solution will affect our implementation and the architecture that we'll build. With this, we can go to the next question. What does success look like? Or in other words, what is the goal? Now, personally, I think that coding is awesome. I love to code. I can code because it's fun, or I want to learn new technology and acquire experience. Thank you. But when I code for a company I work for, I want to consider the big picture and the overall goal. Now, success means different things to different people, right? As a developer, I used to think of success as code with 0 bugs that is easy to maintain, and sometimes I would even measure the number of lines of code I've deleted. Now, I'm not saying it's not important, but it's not the only thing that matters. Because in reality, this perfect code I wrote might have zero value to the user and product. So to understand what is success, I invite you to consider two main components, our business goal and our feature goal. To understand the feature goal, we want to understand what our company does or sells. What is the business model and what is the purpose of our product? Now, and there's something that our company is focused on right now and consider a success right now, we also want to know what is that. So I want to ask you a question. How many of you here raise your hand, by raising your hand, if you know what the main goal or main metric that your company is measuring? Okay, a few of you. Nice, not a lot. So why am I asking? It's important to know that. So today, it's really important, like all the best and successful companies are product-oriented. It means that everyone at the company knows what are the goal and metrics are. And if you don't know, I kind of suggest to go back to your managers and ask. It's really important. It's really changed how I look at things and when I'm going to develop a new feature. Now, also in today's world, the best engineer is no longer the one with the best knowledge of technology stack. It's the one who understands the problem, the business, and the big picture. And as developers who understand that, we can give a lot more value to our companies. So we want to understand the business goal and keep that in mind, but also we have the feature goal. The feature goal is what we're trying to do with this new feature that we are adding, what we are trying to achieve. It could be user acquisition or generating more sales. It could be the importance of performance or running in real time. So we want to understand what is our goal of the feature that we are adding. With that, we want to understand how we as developers could make an impact, could make a difference with this feature. As we don't want to waste time on improving the load of a page that is barely used, right? No one likes to do that. So to understand how it will help us to make better engineering decisions, let's see an example from Fiverr. So on Fiverr, we said that we succeed when our buyers and sellers succeed. And if we think again about the first interaction between buyers and sellers that we discussed on the last question, what does success look like for this feature? So our goal then is to create more new, meaningful conversation that will benefit our users. Now, as a reminder, we did this change from what you can see on the left to what you can see on the right. Now, let's assume for this example that we increase the loading time of this modal by 400 milliseconds. So, what do you think after this change? Should we keep this change or revert it? Is it a good change or a bad one if there's a delay now? So, any idea? No? So, what we should do here to understand if we want to keep this change or not is to go back to our goal and ask, after this change, do we have more meaningful conversations? And do we have now more successful buyers and sellers? Now, yes, we need to define what is meaningful conversation and what is success, but we'll keep that for another talk. But we'll go back to this goal and we'll see if we did a good impact. And if yes, if we did a good impact, we're moving towards our goal and we will keep this change, obviously. Now, another benefit of keeping the goal in mind is that it allows us to talk about the business more and understand and speak the business language. And with that, we can give more valuable insight to the discussion. Let's think we are working on a new feature, and we are certain there's a big technical change, a refactoring that we need to do. So instead of trying to convince our stakeholders that we want to do that, by using buzzwords like spaghetti code or technical debt, we can also speak their business language and say that if we want to do this refactoring, our development time is going to increase by 15% every time we'll add a new functionality to a page. If we'll speak the business language, I'll bet now that your stakeholders will consider this change. Trust me, I'm a product manager. So learning this language enables us to more effectively communicate about what else is needed and take more decision about our product. So, and it's not always about finding the best. It's not always about our solution. It's about finding the best solution. And sometimes we can arrive at that until some conversations and compromises. So remember, we want to keep the goal in mind so we can bring more valuable insight to the discussion and take the right decision for the product. For the third question, what is the minimum value I can deliver? So one of our biggest concerns when it comes to launching a new product is whether our users is going to use it, product or feature. And here comes a concept I'm sure you already heard of, the MVP, minimum viable product. The idea of the MVP is to introduce to our users minimal functionality as quickly as possible to get feedback and learn if it's something that we want to keep or not. And if not, we'll change. So MVP development is about releasing small features each time, step by step, so we can focus on one thing at a time and gather data. The product manager will get data on user behavior, and we can get technical data like performance, traffic, scale, bugs. So we will develop step by step, and then we will learn from that. Now, the minimally viable does not mean perfect. We want to get to perfect, but we have a long road. We should not try to achieve perfect code or feature on our first iteration. I know, it's hard. We always want our code to be superb. But that's why the MVP is all about gathering the maximum knowledge through the minimal feature set and to prove or disprove the assumption that we made while designing. Now, we will imagine our best solution, and it's okay if on the first phase we won't think about all aspects. We won't consider extra storage or limitation. We will imagine the best solution, and then we'll ask, is this idea technically doable? What do we need in order to make it work? Do we have the resources for that? Will it work at scale? And if not, what will be the smallest piece of code or functionality that will give us value and enables us to learn if we want to invest more time with this, and then to add these new resources and new storage. So we will build the first minimum step. We will measure our change, and we will evaluate if it's something we want to keep or not. Maybe on the first phase, we will code something only for iOS, because most of our users are there. And maybe we can use an existing design library, because we have some functionality that exists, and we don't want to develop it from scratch. So we will build that, we will measure and evaluate if we want to invest more or not. Now, time to deliver is also a parameter here. A good delivery or feature is measured by value divided by time. If the best feature ever will take 3 months to develop, a company might not gain any value from that, because one of the competitors could release smaller functionality more quickly, and steal their customers. So it's always a matter of both time and value. The thinking allows us to better understand what we want, how do we want to keep developing, and we want to deliver in small pieces. So we can make better product decisions and better engineering decisions. Moving on to our last question. What else? So this question is my favorite one. And I find it useful not only at work, I use it all the time. And I think it's the most meaningful question one can ask. Now, this is our time to think outside the box and ask, what else? What else I should know? Or what else can I do to improve? It's an opportunity for the product manager to mention anything that's important to them. And we are totally going to get more context of what we're doing, and maybe we will hear about a quick win we can implement easily. And what else? Did we cover all the use cases? And what happens if we have more? Can we add them easily? Many edge cases are technical and won't be endorsed by the product manager. It could be broken APIs, insufficient CPU, or others. So what else is a great place to take space and think? It drives creativity and enables us to think about all aspects and see if something is missing. This is the final step on asking all the questions and put all the pieces of the puzzles together. And what else? So what we need is to ask. If we'll cover all these questions that we just spoke about, if we know how to answer them, we definitely going to have more follow-up questions as well. So ask. The product manager might not mention something because for them it's obvious, or we might not have all the answers. But if we'll ask the right questions, we also might come up with a better, simple solution, something that we wouldn't think of if we wouldn't ask. Now, programming is more than just typing code. It's the art of solving complex problems, building something from scratch, and thinking about all aspects. Great code can absolutely be a great product. We just need to ask the right question and use this framework. So, if we'll ask, who is it for and what is the need? What does success look like? What is the minimum value I can deliver? And what else? Asking this question is a proven, clearer way to get the full picture of what we are doing. And together, engineers and product managers, we will build better software, better code, and obviously better products to our users. Thank you.